Good afternoon, Belize. I'm Misana Cayetano, and it's time for your midday check-in with News 5. Here are the top stories to keep you in the loop. 2 Belize City residents, including an elderly woman, are shot on Vernon Street. We'll meet the candidates running in Queen Square Division ahead of next week's general elections. And this week's episode of the 5-Point Breakdown takes a closer look at the impending trade war and its likely impact on Belize. These stories and more are coming up in just 1 minute.
Veracidad, imparcialidad.
Hemos estado haciendo el trabajo como organización.
Y tus noticias en español.
Están en aguas beliceñas, entonces esta bandera se queda aquí.
Sintoniza Canal 5 cada viernes a las 7 de la noche.
Tenemos que resolver dos grandes problemas de este país.
Su voz importa, su acción cuenta.
Transfusión sanguínea, elementos que indican un deterioro evidente del estado de salud.
Somos Noticiero 5 Semanal.
Perdió la vida en un heroico intento de proteger a su hermano. El Tribunal de Magistrados de la ciudad de Belice se paralizó. La policía está investigando 2 asesinatos separados.
Tu fuente de información.
Welcome back. There's been a mid-morning murder in the vicinity of Castle Street. News 5 understands that Guyon Bernard, popularly known as Gizmo, was shot and killed earlier. The wheelchair-bound victim had been shot several years ago during an incident that left him paralyzed. We'll have more on this developing story at 6 p.m. Two women, including an elderly lady, were shot on Vernon Street in Belize City on Tuesday night, right in front of Berger Field. The incident occurred sometime around 7 p.m. as Stephanie James was closing her business for the night. Suddenly, someone appeared and fired into a group of people, hitting James and the other woman. Both victims were rushed to the Carl Houston Memorial Hospital for emergency medical treatment.
I'm going to wait for my 2 sons, the 2 oldest one, the 14 and the 16, to come off of the field. Make we go inside and think. I had right there to talk to 2 of my friends. They just unlock up the shop, and when I look, one gunman he just opened fire. You understand me? In the midst, I had to try to run, that then I get hit. You understand me? But my thing is, why the field? Why Berger Field? You understand me? Then they try to say like ghost tongue there, but at the end of the day, they can't say ghost tongue, they give no trouble. Compound notice, ghost tongue not give no trouble. That one set of people they give trouble, one set of people they hurt people. When I see he pull out a gun, I could tell I had at least about 5 or 6 shots first. Then after that, when I run, he continue open up more fire, he continue shoot.
You realized you were hit?
From the first shot I get, I realized I was hit because I grabbed my hand and I tell my friend, I tell her, boy, I get shot. I tell her I get shot. Then I tell my boyfriend I get shot, but he don't want her to be jumpy and they think up myself. So he said, no, Steffi, still no get shot. And I tell him, yes, I get shot. So when he noticed the shot on my hand, he said, yes, you get 1 shot, but not 3 in reality.
We're continuing our Meet the Candidates series with a spotlight on the Queen Square Division. On March 12th, 2 United Democratic Party candidates and 1 People's United Party candidate will compete for votes in that constituency. Godwin Haylock from the UDP has the support of Denise's sister B. Barrow, while fellow UDP candidate Shane Williams is counting on his youthful energy to win over voters. Representing the PUP is Dr. Lorna McKay.
Actually, there's no representation in the constituency right now, right? So I believe if I am brought into, or I win, I will be able to do a lot, right? Win that constituency. There's no hope in Queen Square right now, and I have been bringing hope to Queen Square, right? There needs to be somebody that represents those people in Queen Square. And I am that person, I believe, that can represent Queen Square.
What's priority 1, 2, and 3 quickly when it comes to serving the people if you're elected?
Serving the people through education, opportunities, through the access to land, and through health care. And there are other things. The area needs to come alive. There's no hope. There's nothing in Queen Square right now.
My main thing to them is that on March 13th, the day after election, and we have seen it over and over. I've been voting for almost 20 years. I'm kind of old now. And I can tell you over and over, on the day after election, the offices of the politicians are locked. They leave and they tend to come around every so often. We need a type of leadership that will be here every single day. I live in Queen Square. I'm the only candidate in this race that lives in Queen Square. Every night I go to sleep, I see the things that we need to work on when I wake up in the morning. This very basketball court that we are standing on here, this light has been out for almost 2 years. And on every Sunday you can come around and you will see 30 to 40 young people wanting to play basketball. You know, young people who are at-risk youths, staying out of trouble, but half of the basketball court is not even lit.
On March 12th, just like in past elections, there will be restrictions on buying and selling alcohol. These restrictions start when the polls open at 7 a.m. and last until midnight. Chief Elections Officer Josephine Tamai told News 5 that the police will be making sure this law is enforced.
The law states that liquor should not be sold on election day, right? And it goes up until midnight. So for that entire day, no liquor should be sold. Even where it comes to hotels, they should not be selling liquors. And so if persons are found selling alcohol on that day, then the police will charge them, as it is an offense.
Starting March 4th, the U.S. imposed a 25% tariff on goods from Mexico and Canada, leading to immediate retaliation from both countries. This trade war is expected to hurt smaller nations that depend on imported goods. In today's episode of the 5-Point Breakdown, we're diving into the factors behind the trade war and its implications for countries like Belize. Here's a sneak peek at that story.
As I said, now when the elephants trample the grass. So we have to make sure we're out of their way, to make sure that we don't get trampled in this, which is a foolish thing that's taking place when it comes to this fight with the tariffs wars. What we have to do is then to try to see that maybe start to look at other areas to import from. Most of imports come from the United States. And what I'm sure that Mr. Trump understands is that when he raised tariffs, the tariffs is not the country that's selling the product pays it, it's their consumers, so that the prices of imports from China into the United States will probably go up, so that maybe we may need to look at maybe import from Mexico or other countries or even Canada as opposed to from the United States.
The impact is far-reaching. I mean, when you really, I looked at, and I just looked at just quickly at 2022, we imported over 600 million. We exported about 86 million. So what's the trade imbalance that exists there? It simply tells you that we are very import dependent. And in agriculture, let's take agriculture. We might have final products, but what about the inputs? If we import inputs like fertilizer, whatever it is from the United States, and those prices are marked up, then what happens to our agricultural products? The cost of production will go up. The cost of consumption in Belize will also go up if it's for domestic consumption, if people really consume it locally. But what about exporting it? It drives up the cost of production, which simply means now it will cost you more to produce a unit of a product, so you'll produce less. But now, so that is why I believe we should always be doing sensitivity analysis. What happens if the US did it? And from the first time it was threatening to do this, they did this from 2016 as well, was threatening to do so.
That's a wrap for the news at noon. But don't worry, there's plenty more coming your way at 6 p.m. We'll dive deeper into these stories and more. In the meantime, visit channel5belize.com and follow us on Facebook for real-time updates. And don't miss Open Your Eyes tomorrow morning for fresh takes on today's headlines. Thanks for tuning in, Belize. Stay informed, stay inspired, and have a fantastic afternoon.